a teenage runaway.
I chased her down the road, and she's screaming horrible things.
I don't want you right from the cops, I swear.
She has a 35-year-old boyfriend.
I got a call that this man was shooting at her.
I jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house.
He shot your 84-year-old neighbor in the leg.
Charged with attempted murder.
Did he attack you?
I'm not going to answer that.
Are you protecting him? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. It was just 2 days ago, I received an email from a father who says he is desperate to save his 17-year-old daughter. Now, Mark and his ex-wife, Melissa, say that at just 13 years old, Malia began running away, dropped out of school, and became physically abusive to the family. But they say nothing could have prepared them for what was to come. Mark and Melissa say that when Malia was 15 years old, she became involved with a 35-year-old man. A man police claim had a sexual relationship with her and kept her from leaving the bedroom that they shared on one occasion, shooting at an elderly neighbor when he tried to help the girl. Now, until just 6 days ago, Malia and the man she calls her boyfriend were allegedly on the run. That is, until they were finally located living in the woods in Oregon and apprehended by law enforcement. Now, Malia was taken into protective custody and returned to her parents. Her boyfriend, Charles Jackson, was charged with offenses including contributing to the sexual delinquency of a minor, strangulation, and possession of a firearm, to name just a few. Now, he has pled not guilty to all of these charges and is currently awaiting trial. We've reached out to Jackson and his lawyer for comment, but have not yet heard back from them. Mark and Melissa say that they fear if they can't get through to their daughter, she could end up back in the arms of this older man or another one just like him. Take a look.
Malia started running when she was about 13.
Every time she ran away, we reported her as a runaway. Things changed drastically when Malia met the boyfriend. Malia was 15 when she started a relationship with a 35-year-old man. Malia believes that she loves this man.
Malia came back from being with this man that she had visible scars and visible wounds on her. And Malia would say that I fell or I walked into a tree, but then she would tell her friends that the man took her head and slammed it into a car door because he was mad at her.
On June 21st of 2017, I got a call from Malia telling me that this man was shooting at her.
She was able to jump out of a window, run to a neighbor's house. The man followed with a gun and shot the neighbor.
It didn't feel good, I'll tell you.
On September 19th, I received a call in the evening that they had caught the man and Malia was with him.
When the boyfriend was apprehended and Malia was found, our entire family cheered.
Now, in the interest of fairness and balance, I have to say that this man has been charged, but he has been convicted of nothing. He has pled not guilty, and what we have is the parents' opinion and Malia's report of what has happened. Now, we have what's in the police report, but the man's not here to defend himself, so in fairness, I want to say these are allegations. Now, at the request of her parents and to ensure the safety of everyone involved, we enlisted transporters to accompany Malia here to L.A. Here's what happened to Malia when the transporters arrived on her doorstep.
When Malia found out that the transporters were outside, she completely lost it.
showed up on scene. The situation was completely out of control.
I'll kill you!
There was attacks occurring in the street.
Get that away! Get the away from me, bitch!
The father called the police at my request simply because we had now what it looked like an assault in the streets.
I'll punch you right in front of the cops, I swear to God I will!
I chased her down the road, and she's screaming horrible things.
So what is your plan?
Our plan is to take temporary legal custody, temporary power of attorney with your permission.
I just want to get this signed so we can get her the help that she needs right now.
Just for the sake of keeping the peace, she's going with mom to have a little bit of breather time.
And the dad's phone rang, and it's Malia. Malia says, I want to talk to Mike.
Yeah, honey, he will come and talk to you, okay?
Absolutely, I'll be right there. Thank you for letting me come.
We discussed root issues, but you're still going to sign the paperwork because I can't do this without temporary guardianship and power of attorney.
There you go.
When I think about what happened, I am embarrassed, but also relieved.
Okay, I wanted to talk to the two of you before Malia came out here, and she's here, but she's not listening right now because it's time for the adults to talk. I think it's way past time for the adults to talk, frankly. Why did your daughter start running away?
Quite honestly, I'm not sure. Mark and I separated when she was 10, and we actually had a very amicable separation and divorce. I got into a new relationship very quickly, and she didn't like that person, and she would run for things, literally would run away because we wanted her to do chores.
How old was she the first time she ran away?
She was probably 13.
You said you got involved with someone else fairly quickly.
Yes.
Define fairly quickly.
About a month after Mark and I separated.
Okay, and got involved as in he moved in?
It was actually a woman.
Moved
and
in?
she did not move in, no.
And you say you've done everything you can to help her. Tell me, what would you put on the top of the list of the things you've done to help her?
I think one of the best things that we tried to do very early on when she was approximately 14, and she was getting into much heavier drugs, meth we knew, and different amphetamines and drinking and marijuana, we did have her go to a lockdown rehab, and we did that twice with her. And every time that she came out, she might have stuck around for a couple, 3 weeks, and then she ended up starting to run again.
Okay.
She doesn't like rules, and she doesn't like authority. The last full year that she went to school was in the 6th grade, because in the 7th grade is when she started doing drugs.
You're saying she hasn't completed a grade since the 6th grade.
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct.
So she didn't go the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. You haven't been able to get a single school year out of her in 6 years.
Not a single school year. We have done everything from half days to alternative schools to military school.
And let me say, because I mean, a lot of people might be thinking, how do you let a kid just drop out in the 6th grade? I want to be clear. You guys have looked for her under bridges. You've looked for her high and low. You've gone for days hunting for her through neighborhoods, at night, in town, out of town. It's not like you've just sat back and said, well, she doesn't want to do it. Just what are we going to do? You've really...
Absolutely. And we have filed countless police reports. And every time the police, there are no runaway laws in Oregon. And so the police told us, we can get her and we could bring her home, but we can't keep her there. We'll talk to her.
You can't detain her.
Yeah,
she's
we'll talk
just
to her.
gonna run
And
again.
She's just going to run again.
Yeah. Then she met this 35-year-old man, and we're going to talk about that. On August 27th, Mark and Melissa claimed Malia called them saying she was ready to come home after being on the run with 35-year-old boyfriend. But instead of rushing to pick her up, what did they do and why? We're going to find out more about that when we come back.
When Malia doesn't like something, she runs.
We have dropped everything to go get Malia, whether it's been in an abandoned car, whether it's been 2 states away.
I've been under bridges searching for my daughter. It is exhausting.
And later, he's in jail, right?
Yeah, attempted murder, assault, rape. That picture.
Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, come on.
Can you take that off of there?
No, I'll take it down when I want to take it down. You're not running this.
Malia was with us in August. Malia had run away from this man, and she wanted us to come get her.
Malia was home for 5 days and she ended up running away to him again. When you have been broken and disappointed so many times, you have to emotionally cut yourself off from it.
Okay, Mark and his ex-wife, Melissa, say their daughter was only 13 years old when she really started running away in a chronic fashion. And they insist that nothing could keep her home, keep her from running away, and ultimately with a 35-year-old man that she says she's in love with. Take a look.
When Malia doesn't like something, she runs.
Malia started running when she was 13.
It started out, we wouldn't hear from her for a couple days, and then the times got longer and longer and longer.
Every time that she was brought back, she immediately picked up and ran again.
The roller coaster of having a child that runs away because you've asked her to pick up her towel on the bathroom floor is exhausting.
We have dropped everything to go get her. When she was away from us, she was doing meth, drinking, smoking a lot of pot.
Because we haven't seen her for so long, I don't know the extent of the addictions. Mark and I put Malia in lockup rehab 2 different times and spent $40,000.
The college savings is gone.
It did not work putting her in rehab because she needed to want help and she refused.
Let's assume these are allegations against Charles, and he might get off completely, but I think you feel realistically he's in pretty serious trouble, right?
That's why I don't know. Like, I don't know nobody knows really, because it's so early, like, in the case and everything. Like, nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Well, he allegedly shot a guy in the leg, and they frown on that. And in most communities, you shoot an 84-year-old man in the leg when he's trying to help a lady in distress. Let's assume, just for argument's sake, that he spends 25 years in prison. What's next for you?
I need to work on a normal life and get my life started, just working on me and not worrying about that.
Yeah. And what would that look like, working on a normal life?
Living with my mom and going to counseling and getting my GED, getting my license, getting my permit, getting all that, getting a job.
You tend to, I've learned that the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, and you've not adjusted well in the home, you tend to run away. The difference is now you don't need to run, you can walk because nobody's chasing you. There's nothing to rebel against because nobody's.
Yeah, it's time to work on myself and
to
be good for myself.
Why do you think, is her living at home an option?
No.
Not right now.
Not living with you after doing all this? Like, that's why I'm doing this, is just so I can live with you.
So,
like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out of here if I don't, living with you is why I'm here. Like, that's the only thing I want from this, is to live with you.
It's a long-term goal, I think.
No, I'm gonna go home and I wanna live with you.
and honey, I want you to live with me. But we have continued to tell you that you need to go
I can get in counseling.
You need counseling, you need to be in school, and we need to look at medication.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things that we've continually
I'm
asked
not
of
getting
you.
on medication because of my...
And you've refused to do that for 3 years.
No, I will go to counseling. I will.
Okay, let's not use bombs, please.
Okay, that's just who I am, and if you don't want me to be myself right now, then I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
Mom, is that what you want? As long as I get to live with you when I'm done here, then I will stay here.
Do you think you're doing me a favor by being here?
No, I don't think I'm doing you a favor.
Really? You're not. If you want to go,
I know.
go.
I'm trying to be with my family, and
well, they're here
this is the
talking
only
to me.
option. Yeah, I know. They feel like they don't know what else to do.
Every time you have come into the home, you bring chaos. You suck the life out of me.
I don't suck the life out of you.
Whether it's been in an abandoned car, whether it's been 2 states away.
I've been under bridges searching for my daughter. In the beginning, it broke me. I was manic to find her, but as time goes on and it's a repeated behavior, I could no longer be so emotionally invested because I have 2 other children that I need to be a really good mom to.
I always say I believe we write on the slate of who these children are by the experiences we put in their lives.
Absolutely.
You had a problem with alcohol, right?
Yes, sir.
Bad problem.
Yes. My drinking definitely did impact the entire family.
But Mark was sober for 8 years between when Malia was 2 and 10. He was sober for 8 years. It wasn't until him and I split up that he then relapsed and had a really hard time.
That has to be a factor here. The fact that you guys split up has to be a factor. The fact that you had a relapse has to be a factor. The fact that she started getting into drugs and that impairs her judgment has to be a factor. I mean, you have to, when I start looking for solutions, I start looking for causes. Because if there's a cause and effect, I need to know what the cause is to understand the effect.
Absolutely. And Dr. Phil, as parents, we know that we've made some mistakes. I mean, absolutely. And we take responsibility for those mistakes. And throughout this whole thing, we have just never given up trying to continue to get her the help that she needs.
Here's one of the things I want you to think about. I always, when I see particularly young girls doing anything similar to what we're talking about here, the first thing I always ask myself is, are they running away from something or are they running to something? I think a lot of what we're dealing with here is, in her mind, she was looking for a way out. And it didn't, her standards were pretty low. Then when she's 15, you find out about this older man.
We did, through the police.
How did she meet him?
We have no idea how she met him. I believe that he offered her everything she needed, which was someone who was with her constantly. Malia wants constant attention. She needs someone to be with her all the time. I know that your staff has seen it as well. She needs someone with her at all times. She needs someone paying sole attention to her. And she doesn't get that in our family because there's other people and we have jobs and activities. Well, and he offered her that. He was with her 100% of the day, giving her whatever she wanted.
And we're going to talk about what happened on that night. What happened the day that Malia says she went out the window to get away from this man, but yet says she still loves him. She says this man was no predator, that he was her boyfriend. He was her rescuer. He was her savior. So why did she jump out that window to try and escape? I have a lot of questions for her, and we're going to meet her right after the break.
There were times that I was scared in our relationship. Jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house. He shot my neighbor in the leg.
And later...
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out of here. I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
Mom.
2 years ago when Malia was 15, she asked us to finally meet the man for dinner.
They both told us that everything was innocent, that he was just a safe place for her.
They both told us nothing was going on.
We just wanted to put a face to a name. because the police weren't doing anything about it. Mark and I both left there knowing that it was not okay, but our hands were tied and we had no options.
Well, Mark and his ex-wife, Melissa, say that they are desperate to save their 17-year-old daughter, who they believe began having a relationship with a 35-year-old man when she was just 15. Now, just a few days ago, Malia and Charles Jackson were apprehended by authorities after being on the run for almost 3 months. Now, this is at the end of a relationship that allegedly started 2 years earlier when she was 15. Take a look at how Malia describes the moment they were surrounded by authorities.
I ran away in the beginning because I was a defiant 13-year-old girl. I stayed with friends. I have slept outside multiple times. I slept one time at a parking garage. I always found a way to take care of myself on my own. I haven't had a relationship with my parents, and that was a long time ago. My boyfriend, he's been my life for the past 2 years. He makes me happy. A normal day would probably be drinking and using drugs. My parents obviously don't like him because of his age. There were times that I was scared in our relationship. There was an incident in June that we both probably made some stupid decisions. At the time, I felt like my life was in danger. It escalated to the point where I jumped out a window and ran to my neighbor's house. My boyfriend was close behind me. I heard 3 gunshots. He shot my neighbor in the leg. He got arrested. 10 or 15 cops with guns and 2 dogs coming at us. He didn't even put the car in park, but we got out with our hands up, and then he's like, "I love you, Malia," and I'm like, "I love you," and we said that probably 5 times to each other. My boyfriend was charged with assault, and I think it's if my boyfriend was out of jail, I would be with him.
So how you doing?
I'm fine.
You've had quite an interesting last 30 days, right?
Yeah.
The authorities found you guys in Oregon, is that right?
Yeah.
What were you doing when they got there?
We, okay, so we took a nap and then we heard the planes flying above us. And then we're like, okay, we need to get the out of here. And so we drove not even 100 yards down the road, and then there was a bunch of cops.
So you heard a plane going over too many times?
Yeah, we're like, okay.
So at this point, he's in jail, right?
Yeah.
What's he in jail for, to your understanding?
He's in jail for a long list of things.
Yeah.
Attempted murder, assault, rape, everything.
Why is he in jail for what's your understanding about why he's in jail for attempted murder?
Because he shot my neighbor in the leg.
He shot your neighbor in the leg?
Yeah. Because I ran to my neighbor's house, and then my neighbor was a dumbass and went outside and tried to talk to him, and I ran out the back door, but tried to talk to him, and then Charlie's lay on the ground and let me go in the house and get her, and he wouldn't lay on the ground. I guess he smiled at him, and then he turned around and started walking away, and so Charlie shot him in the leg. He shot at the ground twice, but then he shot him in the leg.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to kill him, so I don't think it should be attempted murder.
Mm-hmm. Now you went out the window.
That picture.
Okay, whoa. Now come on.
Please. Can you take that off there?
No, I'll take it down when I want to take it down. You're not running this. Why did you go out a window of a house?
I'm not answering anything until that picture's taken down.
Well, we'll take it down in a minute. Were you trying to get away from him?
Yeah, obviously.
Why?
I felt my life was in danger, but he made some choices that day that probably weren't right, and I made some choices that day that probably weren't right, so.
What choices did you make that probably weren't right?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question, I guess.
What did he do that wasn't right?
He let his temper and his anger take control over him, I guess.
Did he attack you?
I'm not going to answer that.
Are you thinking that you're protecting him if you don't answer those things?
He hasn't gone to trial yet, and so I don't want to say anything.
Well, you know, I've spent most of my professional career in the litigation arena, and I'm trained as a forensic psychologist, which is psychology in the law. And I can tell you that if you present as so mind controlled by him that you're afraid to speak the truth, you're actually hurting his case, not helping him, but you do what you want. If they watch you and you're so afraid of him that you won't tell the truth.
That's not who said that?
Well,
You're saying that.
I'm saying that.
That's not what
I'm saying that.
is the case. I'm not afraid of him, but I am.
You went out the window because you're not afraid of him?
Okay, that day I was, but I'm not saying anything because I'm afraid of him. I just don't want any legal issues with me saying anything that could hurt or help the case.
I'm sorry, Dr. Phil.
No, listen, that's okay. What she's doing right now speaks volumes more than if she was talking. You consider yourself to still be a couple, right?
Yes, I'm always here for Charlie.
He could spend 20 years in the penitentiary.
I will be there for him when he gets out.
Closed captioning provided by... You did go out a window, that we know, and you don't want to talk about why you went out the window.
Well, I went out the window because we made some choices that I felt like my life was in danger, and that's...
Did you feel like your eyes were in danger of being gouged out?
No.
But you felt like you went out the window, you were safer outside the room than inside the room?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you ran to the neighbor to get help?
Yeah, to call the police, and I did.
Yeah. And so this neighbor that he shot in the leg was 84 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's 35 with a gun, and he shoots an 84-year-old man in the leg.
Yeah.
Charming.
Yeah, that sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was a really dumb decision on his part, I think. That was very...
Yeah.
That was dumb.
And so
he should have never, because if he didn't shoot, then I think that things would be a lot different now. If he would have just took some other course of action, I guess, and not shooting him.
But you had still jumped out a window, ran from him, and called 911 before he shot.
Yeah.
So
But
you
still,
had already started the process and were
reason why
scared
I said
of him.
No, but the only reason why I ever wrote a statement down or said a statement to the police is because they're he's going to be in trouble anyways, and so I'm just
let's talk about you. Let's take him out of it for a minute. Okay. You went out the back door and went to another neighbor's house, and they told you to get out of here, right?
Yeah, he came at me with a gun, actually.
So he chased you away, so you go to another neighbor, and they actually did call the police.
I called the police.
From the neighbor's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mom.
Did you know that he had a gun?
Well, yeah, he has guns. He's Native American. They have rights. They hunt.
Sure.
Yeah, he always has his guns.
Sure. Okay. So then at that point, you felt like you were safer outside the room than you were inside the room. And this wasn't the first time you felt safer away from him than with him. Although there were times that you felt safer with him than without him, right?
Yeah.
There were times you felt safe with him.
Yeah.
But then there were times that things went bad and you felt like you were better off to not be with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. And so you consider yourself to still be a couple, right?
I don't know how that, I haven't really thought about, I have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm always here for Charlie.
You know, he could spend 20 years in the penitentiary or longer.
Yeah. That's a long time.
You're gonna wait.
I will be there for him when he gets out.
So you think you would wait for him till you're 40?
I'm not gonna wait. I never said I will be there for him as a friend if he's healthy, and I will if he's as my friend. If he's healthy, I will. If he's sober.
You told me 2 days ago that you and Charlie have already
said our goodbyes. We have.
you had talked about how when he gets out, you two are going to be together and you're going to try to get us to be involved with him.
That was
and
kind of just like me dreaming.
that was you dreaming.
Yeah, I was just kind of.
Okay. You said that to me.
But that could be like, she could be in her 40s by then, right?
And that scares you.
It said 70 years or something like that. The paper said 90 months to 70 years.
70 years?
90 months to 70 years, but they said the paper
70
always
years wouldn't be long
over-exaggerates
enough.
things.
Yeah. Well, coming up, Melissa and Mark say they have 3 months to get their 17-year-old daughter back on track before she's 18, and they have absolutely no control over her. They say she's been running away since the age of 13, dropped out of school in the 6th grade, and keeps running back to a 35-year-old man that she considers to be her boyfriend. We'll talk more about that when we come back.
It's just who I am, and if you don't want me to be myself right now, then I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
When she was away from us, she was doing meth, drinking, smoking a lot of pot.
Because we haven't seen her for so long, I don't know the extent of the addictions. Mark and I put Malia in lockup rehab 2 different times and spent $40,000.
The college savings is gone.
It did not work putting her in rehab because she needed to want help and she refused.
Let's assume these are allegations against Charles, and he might get off completely, but I think you feel realistically he's in pretty serious trouble, right?
That's why I don't know. Like, I don't know nobody knows really, because it's so early, like, in the case and everything. Like, nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Well, he allegedly shot a guy in the leg, and they frown on that. And in most communities, you shoot an 84-year-old man in the leg when he's trying to help a lady in distress. Let's assume, just for argument's sake, that he spends 25 years in prison. What's next for you?
I need to work on a normal life and get my life started, just working on me and not worrying about that.
Yeah. And what would that look like, working on a normal life?
Living with my mom and going to counseling and getting my GED, getting my license, getting my permit, getting all that, getting a job.
You tend to, I've learned that the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior, and you've not adjusted well in the home, you tend to run away. The difference is now you don't need to run, you can walk because nobody's chasing you. There's nothing to rebel against because nobody's.
Yeah, it's time to work on myself and
so
to be good for myself.
Why do you think, is her living at home an option?
No.
Not right now.
Not living with you after doing all this? Like, that's why I'm doing this, is just so I can live with you.
So,
like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out of here if I don't, living with you is why I'm here. Like, that's the only thing I want from this, is to live with you.
It's a long-term goal, I think.
No, I'm going to go home and I want to live with you.
And honey, I want you to live with me. But we have continued to tell you that you need to go
I can get in counseling.
You need counseling, you need to be in school, and we need to look at medication.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things that we've continually
I'm
asked
not
of
getting
you.
on medication because of my...
And you've refused to do that for 3 years.
No, I will go to counseling. I will.
Okay, let's not use bombs, please.
Okay, that's just who I am, and if you don't want me to be myself right now, then I don't need to be here.
Well, then leave. Hell, girl, if you don't want to be here, leave.
Mom, is that what you want? As long as I get to live with you when I'm done here, then I will stay here.
Do you think you're doing me a favor by being here?
No, I don't think I'm doing you a favor.
Really? You're not. If you want to go,
I know.
go.
I'm trying to be with my family, and
well, they're here
this is the
talking
only
to me.
option. Yeah, I know. They feel like they don't know what else to do.
Every time you have come into the home, you bring chaos. You suck the life out of me.
I don't suck the life out of you.
You're being at home. There are 2 other children in the home, right?
Yeah.
And they deserve a peaceful existence as well.
Yeah, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Malia, every time you have come into the home, you bring chaos into our home. And when you were there for the last 3, before you went back with that man this last time in August, you being there caused your sisters a lot of distress. And she wasn't violent or having outbursts, but
yeah,
sucks,
because I haven't...
you suck the life out of me. And
okay,
I can't
just because
give anything to them.
I don't suck the life out of you. I just take your attention that needs to be given to me that I haven't had in years. And the girls aren't used to having another person in their life that takes a little bit of your attention away. And I feel like I deserve a little bit of your attention.
Of course you do.
You absolutely do.
Of course you
do.
But when you come in, you suck all
well,
of me.
Well, obviously, for a minute, I'm going to need a little bit of your more attention than the girls. Because it's new.
But that's been happening for years.
Well, I've never stayed long enough for anything to get better.
Right. You have not, because you run.
And the girls, looking at it from their eyes, they get close to you. They are so happy you're back in the house. And then the chaos starts. And they get hurt, and then you leave, and they're hurt because you leave.
Yeah.
And you come back, and they think everything's going to be okay, and they have their big sissy.
Well, that's what I think, too.
And then you leave.
That's what I think, too. I don't plan on, like, coming back and leaving and coming back and leaving. And now that he's gone for however long, it's going to be... I know it was before him that I would come back and leave and come back and leave, but, like, it's a lot different.
It's been with him as well. He would.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
The rest area.
I know that's what I'm saying. So now that he's not here to do that, it's probably going to be a little bit.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
What?
Just your opinion.
Yes.
What do you think is your biggest obstacle or your biggest barrier to kind of getting back into the mainstream of life?
I don't see any obstacles. I feel like they're trying to put up obstacles. Like, I can do this. I can go to counseling. I can get my GED. I can get my license and my permit, and I can do all that. Time is obviously a big thing, and like, it's never been just like, okay, Malia, like, come home and we'll love you, and if you do the normal kid things, like I'll clean, I'll do chores, I will do whatever, I will not leave past a certain time if that's what they really want. But it's never just been that. It's been like, oh no, you can't come home yet, you have to like stay away.
Because, by the way, I don't think this is all your fault, by the way. I think this is a family issue, not a Malia issue.
Yeah.
I think you get the finger pointed at you a lot, but I don't think it's all you. I think you're reacting to a lot of stuff that's been thrown at you. Is Malia really committed to getting back on track? I mean, I kind of think she is, but we're going to talk about that after the break. Closed captioning provided by... Well, let me tell you what I'm going to suggest and make an offer to you about. And Malia will want to participate in this, or she won't. You know, that's up to y'all, and you can do this a lot of different ways. Malia, I want to introduce you to Marcella Rondini. She's the clinical director and licensed marriage and family therapist for Polaris Teen. And Polaris Teen is an individualized residential mental health treatment center for teens. And Marcella, you guys work with teens and their families that are really having a difficult time getting through life and getting to the next level. And this is one of those situations. And I chose this particular program because you work for two reasons. One, you work in such an individualized, customized way without an emphasis on medications, and you work with families, not just the teen. Is this a situation that you think you can help this family?
Yes. Hi. Hi, Malia. Hi, parents. Hi, Dr. Phil. So I have been hearing your guys' story, and I want to say, first of all, thank you for being here and for sitting there and not walking out. I know it takes a lot. It's kind of scary to be here in front of a lot of people. Just hearing your story, we can help you because we really are specialized in trauma. So we can really empower and process what's going on inside for you. And number two, it's a family program, and it is a family program. You are not going to be seen as the patient. It's like all the family needs help. And as you guys are saying, you want to go home and you want this to work, right? You don't want to go home and in a few days, things get very overwhelming and then you have to leave, right? You want this to be, okay, I want to go home, I want to do that. So we need to help your family to be ready.
How does this sound to you?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Okay. Well, then that's a decision that you parents will need to make, and I'll let you guys sit down backstage and talk about this. My interest is not where you are in 2 weeks, it's where you are in 2 years and 5 years and 10 years. And we'll find out how sincere you are, whether you're willing to put in the work and whether you guys are willing to put in the work.
But I will not
or
do any inpatient.
Whether you're not.
No, I am not going to be sent away again. I'm not
Okay.
going to do it.
I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Marcella from Polaris Teen. We'll see what this family decides to do. For more information on today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. You can also join on the conversation today on Facebook and Twitter. Once again, I want to say that with regard to this individual, Charles, these are allegations. He's pled not guilty. He's not been convicted of anything at this point, so I treat these as allegations, and we'll see how all that turns out. I hope you're serious about making a change in your life, and we'll see. You either are or you aren't. We'll see you next time.
The following program contains sexual content. Viewer discretion advised.